Okay, so this is a quick recording of the layout example that Mitch wanted. So if you want, you can have, if you want to have a look at how I did it, just pay attention. So Mitch said he wanted a long column on the left and two columns on the right. Is that right? Okay, so this is my skeleton. I downloaded skeleton. This is the skeleton index file. I've just cleaned up everything. I will change the title. So title, I'll make it a layout example. Yeah, just pay attention to these tiny things. The layout, the title, the description. Okay, there you go. If somebody Googles Mitch Schofield, they'll come to my site and people will wonder what he's doing on my site. Okay, the primary layout. Skeleton says that everything should be on in a container. You can see this div container. So let's say div, and it's a class, by the way. Class equals, it has picked up container, which means my linking is correct. If I was not linked to the CSS, and because I started a div, very careful to end the div. Okay, very important. Now primarily I have two columns. It just so happens that in the right column I have two more boxes. So I have two columns. So I have div, class equals row. So I have a row. Okay, container, then I have a row. Inside the row I have I'll put a title here, h1 layout example for Mitch. Then I have a row. Inside the row I need two columns. The left column is a long one, so I'm presuming it's a thin one. So let's go div class equals let's go 8 and 4. So let me try 4 columns. And I think I can do that. 10 columns, 2 columns. Yeah, I can do that. 4 columns. And because the total has to be 12, 4 and 8 columns. Okay. So I'm just going 4 here, 8 here, and let me test it in a browser. 4, 8. Yep. Let me also put a style on these things so that I can see what is happening here. Style border 1 pixels dotted gray. Okay, pretty cool. I might just make it give a class and then I'll apply the class everywhere. So somewhere up here, I'm just going to have an internal page style. I'm going to make a class called dot my col. If I call it column, it might sort of clash with something else skeleton has. So I'm just going to call it my col. And in my call, I'm going to have border. I'm going to have border radius. I'm going to have padding and margin. Padding 5 pixels, margin 5 pixels, just to keep it a bit clean. And now I don't have to worry about this. I can just add one more class. You see there are two classes. I can just add one more class. I can call it my call. It hasn't picked it up because it's not saved. My call. So you can see there, I got a padding margin. Okay. Now, your question was you wanted 2 columns on the right. So this is the right side, right? I'm going to have 2 columns here. And I'm not going to give it any columns. Okay? Because if I don't give it any, it will go all the way to 12. My column, I'll just call it top right box. Sorry, the font is small. I reduced it to find an error earlier on. I just might increase that. Preferences, fonts for code, I'll make it about 12. Is that clear? Sorry? It was fine before, okay. Bottom right box. So I've got these two divs. So I've got a row. So that's the row. 1 column on the left, 1 column on the right. On the right column I have 2 more divs. Is the structure clear? There you go. Okay? And yes, you can give things height. So if you want this guy, the 4 guy, you want to give it height, you can say style equals height 600 pixels, and you want this guy also to be 600 right side. So there you go. Okay, I'll upload the recording as well as the example.